We start the webinar, sir. Please, sir.
Wait. Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to everyone. Can you hear me,
Mr. Ramaya?
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving your time to address
Thank you,
our
my dear.
students.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you as well.
Yeah, very nice to have you, sir. Very nice to just have you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. So nearly we are having a 900 registrations we had, sir.
Yeah, let us just start then.
Start the program, sir, with your consent.
Yeah, definitely. Please go ahead.
Please, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, start.
The key to success is to focus on goals and not obstacles. A pleasant good afternoon to one and all present here. This is Ramya of 2nd MBA going to host this interesting program on the topic of financial strategic empowerment through planning with participant of 900. Before moving into the session, let us start with the prayer song. Life is not about winning, it's about not giving up. To give welcome address of our honorable chief guest, I would like to call upon Mr. Dinesh Paradhi of 2nd MBA.
All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. On behalf of the management of Wheeltech iTech, Dr. Rangarajan, Dr. Shakuntala Engineering College, founder and the chairman, Colonel Professor Dr. Wheels T. R. Rangarajan sir, Vice Chairman Dr. Srimati Shakuntala Rangarajan ma'am, Chairperson and Management Trustee Srimati Magalashmi Kishore Kumar ma'am, Vice President Mr. KVD Kishore Kumar sir, respected Principal Dr. E. Kamalanaban sir, Head of the Department of the Management Science, Dr. A. Suresh Kumar sir, Deans and the HODs of other departments and our beloved faculty members and participants from across the nation. And my dear friends, it is my immense pleasure to welcome you all for the wonderful national webinar on financial strategic empowerment through planning. A special invite to our valuable guest for the day, Mr. Suryan Sharma sir, Senior Consultant, Association of Mutual Funds in India, and Mr. Ahmad sir, Coordinator of AMFI. We are truly delighted with your presence, sir. I hope the session will be very useful for us. Sir. We are very much awaited to gain knowledge from you, sir. Thanks for your presence and your time, sir. Have a great day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dinesh Rajan, for your kind words of welcome. If your action inspire others to dream more, learn more, and become more, you are a leader. To know more information about our chief guest, I invite Ms. Divya, 2nd MBA, to read his profile.
The key is to not to prioritize what is on your schedule, but to schedule your prioritize. It is my privilege to welcome our guest for today, Suryakant Sharma, Senior Consultant, AMFI, former DGM Securities and Exchange Board of India. He is a Commerce graduate and Masters in Laws with specialization in Corporate Laws. He is also Chartered Associate of Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. Mr. Sharma has over 35 years experience in banking and finance and securities market and has reserved in a leading financial institutions, therein Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, and finally in Security Exchanges Board of India. Mr. Sharma joined Securities and Exchange Board of India in 2003 and served there for more than 15 years. Has served in different departments of Securities Exchange Board of India. Lastly, in addition to other assignments, he was DGM in charge Office of Investor Awareness and Education in Security Exchange Board of India, North region for more than 5 years. Mr. Sharma is also a member of working group of NCRT for developing occasional course on mutual funds for students of 11th and 12th classes. Mr. Sharma also mentor of a few NGOs working for financial literacy and investors awareness in the country. Under his supervise, on more than 10,000 financial literacy and investors awareness programs were conducted across with India, and he himself addressed as a guest speaker in more than 600 investors awareness programs. After superannuation from Security Exchange Board of India in 2019, he has joined Association of Mutual Funds in India and Apex Body of Mutual Funds in India as the Senior Consultant North India. As such an inspiring person is here with us today. Thank you so much for your time and presence, sir. We are much awaited to hear from you. I hope this section is going to be very interesting and informative for us. Once again, a warm welcome to you, sir. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you. Thank you very much, Divya. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay. Divya Ramaiya and Dinesh and Mr. Suresh Kumar, I will request all of you kindly to keep your video on so that at least I can feel that I am talking to somebody. If all videos are off, sometimes a feeling comes that to whom I am talking to. So kindly at least 3-4 organizing team members keep their video on. Are you listening to me, Divya?
Dr. Suresh Kumar, sir. Sir, please inform organizing team members, please on video, sir. Please, sir. Dinesh Bharati, please on your video. Dinesh Rajan, please on your video. Divya Rajkumar, please. Kulkarni B and Ramaiya Ji and Dr. Suresh Kumar, sir. Please, sir. Sir, please on your video, sir. Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Suresh Kumar. I am thankful to Honorable Founding Chairman of the institution, respected Principal, and Mr. Suresh Kumar, and all young organizing team for giving me opportunity to interact with all of you. The topic Mr. Suresh Kumar has selected today is a very tough one. Financial strategic empowerment through planning. My dear Suresh Kumar, 2-3 things I wish to mention here before the start of my session. That this program is from Association of Mutual Funds in India, but this is not a marketing event or a promotional event of mutual funds. It is purely an investor awareness program just to sensitize the young participants, particularly your students and your faculty members, about the importance of savings, investments, and all other related aspects of the money. 2-3 requests I want to make to Mr. Suresh Kumar through you to all the participants. First is, since this program is for the participants, I will request participants to kindly have a pen and pencil with them. And if they wish, they can note down anything they found useful or a new information, which they can explore through Google and websites. Secondly, Divya, as this program is for the participants, I will request all the participants to kindly feel free and ask as much questions as you have in your mind regarding the subject. And because I want to make this as an interactive session, it is not a one-way traffic. Divya, I want it to be two-way traffic. I want you also, you means all the participants, to be active and interactive with me so that we can mutually gain something and some information on investments and savings. As far as today's topic is concerned, Divya, financial empowerment and financial planning are two very, very important pillars of our prosperity. And what we generally mean by financial empowerment, Divya? Suresh Kumar sir, I feel financial empowerment simply means we have money when we need it. Am I right, Divya? We should have money when we need it. That is financial empowerment mean to a ordinary person. And what money gives us, Divya? What is the purpose of money in our life? The purpose of money, initially when we have little bit money, is to take care of our basic needs. Clothing, food, shelter. These are the basic needs of every individual. And definitely every individual first like to have these basic things in his life. But when he has little bit more money, Divya, then what they do? Then they go for some comfort as well. They go for good house, electric gadgets at home, a small car, and more comfort in their life. And Mr. Dinesh, when we have plenty of money, then what we think of generally? Then we think of luxuries. We think of palatial house. We think of fancy cars. We think of very costly gadgets. Everything we think when we have plenty of money. So money gives us all these things, but one money also gives us one important thing, Mr. Dinesh, and that is financial security. Mr. Dinesh, when you have 100 crore in your bank account, you will feel assured, okay, Baba, now I have 100 crore in my bank account. No problem. Come what may, if anything happens in my life, or if any problem arises, I will manage with that plenty of money I have. But Mr. Dinesh and Divya, you both might be aware of the fact that we middle class, salary class person, and I appreciate all the participants, including students, are from this background only. We are from middle class fraternity. So when we don't have plenty of money in our life, despite best of our efforts, we don't have plenty of money. Am I right, Mr. Dinesh? We do have reasonable money, but we don't have plenty of money in our life. So can't we have the financial security or money or mental security even in absence of plenty of money? My answer to this is yes. We can have plenty of money. We can have a lot of things. We can have plenty of money. We can't have plenty of money, but we still can have financial security and mental security in our life. How we can have it, my dear friends? Through these three things we should have: financial security and mental security in our life first before thinking of any other thing. So these three things kindly try to make in your life as early as you can, because these three things, Divya and Dinesh, will give us financial security and mental security when you start earning particularly. And all you are going to start earning very soon, next year or so. You'll all be joining some job, some startups, or some of you might even start some startup or some business or some profession. So you are going to earn very soon. So when you start earning, you should have these three things done in your life at first. What these three things are, Divya? The first thing is, every individual who is earning must have adequate life insurance cover. They must have adequate life insurance cover. And Divya, you might be aware about the importance of life insurance cover in our life. Why we take life insurance cover, and what is the need of life insurance cover in our life? The need of life insurance cover is very, very important. Kindly minded. Why we take life insurance cover? Because Divya and Dinesh, you will agree with me that life is pretty uncertain. We don't know what happened to us or any member of the family in future. Just to avoid that uncertainty in our life, at least at the financial front, we take life insurance cover. And what life insurance cover gives, my dear Dinesh? Life insurance cover gives an assurance to the family that in case I am not available to family because of death or permanent disability or some fatal illness, at least my family will get an amount which they can deposit or invest somewhere, and they can earn some income, return or interest on which they can survive. That's the purpose of life insurance cover. And I, I personally feel that life insurance cover has to be adequate, my dear Dinesh. It should not be token. Normally people take token life insurance cover, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs. Divya, it is not going to serve the purpose for which life insurance cover is needed. We should have adequate life insurance cover. And what is the definition of adequacy, my dear Mr. Dinesh? The adequacy simply means it should be minimum 20 times of your annual income, Divya. Suppose, Divya, you will be earning 20 lakhs a month, a year after 1 or 2 or 3 years. Then ideally you should take life insurance cover of not less than 2 crore rupees. Because 2 crore rupees is a reasonable amount which your family will get in case of death or financial or disability. And so they can get reasonable return which is sufficient to manage their monthly affairs. That is why life insurance cover is needed. And the life insurance cover, the basic rule of life insurance cover is early you take, lesser will be the premium. So kindly don't keep deferring the decision of taking life insurance cover. And Divya, nowadays a very good insurance product, life insurance cover product is available in the market. That is called term insurance, TERM, term insurance. Term insurance is real sense a very true insurance, life insurance product, because it gives adequate life insurance cover with very, very minimum or small premium, monthly premium. A person of the age of 25 to 30 years, Divya, can take a life insurance cover of 1 crore rupees by paying a monthly premium of around, say, 700 rupees or so. This I feel every person can afford when he start earning. So the first thing is adequate life insurance cover. Second is adequate health insurance cover. Divya, life insurance cover is different, health insurance cover is different. They are not one and same thing. Life insurance cover we take to give mental security to the family. And health insurance cover, why we take, Divya? We take health insurance cover to meet our medical expenses in case of medical emergency. That is the purpose of health insurance cover. And Mr. Dinesh, you might agree with me that anything can happen to anybody, you or any member of the family, because of medical emergency, might be required to be hospitalized urgently. And when we go to the hospital, Mr. Dinesh, normally we will go to the private hospitals only because of the not so comfortable condition in the government hospitals. But Mr. Dinesh, when we go to the private hospital on medical emergency, you will agree with me that the charges there are exorbitant. They charge exorbitantly. Private hospital expenses, treatment is very expensive. But if we have health insurance cover, then all expenses of the private hospital will be directly paid by the insurance company to the hospital directly, And Divya, we will not be required to pay anything. We will simply go, take treatment, get recovered, and come back to home without paying money. That is the purpose and that is the importance of health insurance cover. And suppose if we don't have health insurance cover, Divya, then what will happen? In case of medical emergency and hospitalization, definitely we will have to take out some deposit or some savings we have, or might have to take some loan from the personal relations or friends. Both will be very, very painful. So just to avoid that painful situation, we can easily have health insurance cover, not only for you, Divya, but for the all family members. And then now a very good policy available in the market for health insurance, that is called floater policy, FLOATER, floater policy, or it is also called umbrella policy. Why it is called floater? Because the insurance, health insurance, keep floating from one member to other, and rather it is covered, it is covering all family members. So in case any of the family members, because of medical emergency, is required to be hospitalized, all his or her expenses will be directly paid by the insurance company to the hospital in cashless treatment. It is called technically cashless treatment, where you are not required to pay any cash. So second thing is, every family must have adequate health insurance cover. And I don't know about your town much, but if you are in a big town, that it should be around 20 lakhs health insurance cover for the whole family. Or if you are in a smaller town, then you might think of taking 15 lakh annual insurance health cover. Premium of both the payment of premium of both the life insurance cover and health insurance cover, Divya, has got some exemption under income tax as well. So you think of it. Third thing is, Divya, we should have, this corona has taught us lot of lessons, you all know, of our life has changed. Our life has changed a lot. But the most important lesson corona has taught us this time is that this might recur in future as well, maybe in the name of corona or any other disease or any emergency in the family. And for that, I would suggest all the participants kindly develop an emergency fund of around 5 to 7 lakhs. What is the purpose of emergency fund, Divya? That in case any emergency arises with my family in future, at least my family will be able to manage their affairs for 1 year or so. And you will agree with me that emergency can happen, can come to any of the family member of the family without giving any notice. That is why this emergency fund, and this emergency fund, you need not keep it at bank or in some bank or in some cash form, but rather you should put some of it in some bank deposit or in some liquid fund of mutual fund. We will discuss afterwards. So third thing is emergency fund. So I have told you, Divya, 3 things. First is adequate life insurance cover. Second is adequate health insurance cover. And third is emergency fund of the family. All these 3 things will give us mental security, kindly mind it. They may not give you any return. They may not give you any profit, but they will surely extend financial security and mental security to the family. That is why I have narrated these things first before coming to the other aspects of the money and investments. Now, second thing, am I not audible, Divya? Mr. Sabjar, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sir, you are audible, sir.
Actually, somebody has just written on chat box that I'm not, my voice is not audible.
No, sir. Sir, your voice is audible, sir. Please, sir. Continue, sir.
Now, Divya, you tell me, normally when you start working with any organization or any institution, what is the main source of our income, Divya? The main source of income is your salary, which we get from the employer. Am I right? The salary we get from the employer. Now, Divya, What we do with the salary we get from the employer?
Savings.
No. A majority of our savings goes into, majority of our income goes into taking care of our monthly expenses. Tuition fee, grocery, rental, travel, lot of bills, all these things. So a majority of our income goes into taking care of our monthly expenses, but still what you told is right. Every Indian wants to take some money away from his or her income. We don't spend all what we earn. Everybody tries to take away some amount from their monthly regular income, and the amount which we don't spend out of our monthly income, what we call it, Divya? It is called savings. It is called saving. And we all are savers. We all are. When you start working, you will realize that you will also be saving. So saving is an integral part of our thinking. Indians has got a typical thinking that we are all savers. Even a person who is earning 10,000 tries to save minimum 500 rupees or 1,000 out of their income to save. So we are saving, but we are very casual about saving. Means this year when Divya start working, Divya might save 10,000 a month, first month. Second month, it might be 12,000. Third month, it might be 8,000. Fourth month, it might be 5,000. But my request is different here. Kindly identify an amount of saving, Divya, which we can save every month. Suppose, Divya, you say my income is 50,000 and my expenses are around 40,000. I can save 10,000. Then you are saying, I am not saying it. Then my request is, kindly save this 10,000 religiously without fail. Every month. Got it? Every month we have to save this amount. Religiously. Come what may. Second thing is, we should keep increasing our savings minimum by 10%. Suppose, Divya, you are saving 10,000 a month when you start earning in the first year. Next year, it should be not 10,000, but 11,000 a month. How it can be, Divya? Because you will get increase in your package. You will get increase in your salary every year. So with the increase in income, we should also increase your savings. So these two things I wish to request all the participants, kindly note it down. These are very, very, very important things in your life. The first is, kindly identify an amount of saving which you can save every month. And secondly, keep increasing the saving minimum by 10%. Now, the next question arises, Divya, what we do with our savings? Of course, you are saving and you are savers. What we do with our saving, Divya? What we do? Normally, what we do with our savings? There are two options available with us. The first option is, whatever I am saving, I will keep it in my home every month, religiously, in a lock and key in a box, or just leaving that amount in my SB account, savings account. If anybody is doing, kindly stop doing it, because it is a gross injustice to ourselves, to our family, and to our country as a whole. Never do this. Then what to do? The other option available for us is putting our savings, number one, into acquisition of some assets, value of which will increase in future. Divya, acquisition of some assets which will increase in value of which will increase in future, or in some financial instrument which will give us return or income periodically, regularly in future. And the process of putting this saving into a acquisition of assets or in financial instrument, what is called, Divya? It is called investment. It is called investment. So we save and then invest. Saving is the first step, investment is the second step. We should not only save the amount, but the equally important thing is, whatever we are saving must be invested. Why it should be invested, Divya? Because we know it very well that our future requirement of money will not be met solely by the income we will have. We all know it, because future requirement of money is huge in our life, and our income will not commensurate with the requirements. So that is why we save and invest. Now, second thing, Divya, I want to tell you, though we are saving and we are investors, but unfortunately, you must understand, of course, you have not yet started working on, you must understand that most of the middle class, salary class person like you and me, despite their sincere efforts of saving and investment, just remain money accumulators. Kindly note down these words, money accumulators. We don't become wealth creators. There are two words I am using, Divya: money accumulators, wealth creators. What is money accumulation and what is wealth creation? I will just tell you through one simple example. And in that example, I will take the name of Divya again. Suppose, Divya, you have got 1 lakh rupees with you. You have got 1 lakh rupees. Now you go for the bank FD, bank fixed deposit. Are you aware about the bank FD? We all know about bank FD. For periodical, for period, we deposit the money with bank. Bank also gives interest on it. So Divya goes for a 1 year bank FD. The present rate of interest is 6%. After 1 year, when I meet Divya and just ask her, Divya, what happened to your FD, which you had done last year? Divya is smiling and she is happy. She says, sir, I have got 6,000 as interest income on my FD. Am I right? Your rate of interest is 6%. So 6,000 is my rate of interest. So I got 6,000 as interest income. And I am happy. When I ask her, Divya, are you really happy? Are you right? She said, yes, sir, absolutely, I am right. What is wrong with you asking this question? I am right. I got 6,000 a bank interest income. Divya, you are right, but you are not right. Why you are right? Why you are right? Of course, you got 6,000 in your bank account, you are right. But why you are not right, Divya? Because while analyzing return on your investment, you forgot two important factors. These factors are very, very vital while analyzing our return on investments. What these factors are, Divya? The first factor is inflation. Inflation simply means increase in the prices of goods, item or services. And suppose the inflation rate is 5% this year, when Divya had FD, then what, simply speaking, what does it mean? It simply means that Divya will have to pay 1,05,000 for the same item, goods or things which you could have purchased last year when she was going for FD. So after 1 year, those goods, item or services will not be available to her at 1 lakh rupees. Because of inflation, prices of those items or goods have increased. If the inflation rate is 5%, what does it mean? It simply means that Divya will have to pay after 1 year for the same goods, same item, not 1 lakh rupees, but 1,05,000 rupees. Now you see the proposition. Out of 6,000 you earned, Divya, 5,000 has been eaten by the inflation. 5,000 has been eaten by the inflation. Still 1,000 is there. Divya is happy. But again, Divya, most of such income are taxable also, and you will need to pay income tax as well on this bank interest of 6,000. As per extant rules, 10,000 bank interest is exempt from income tax. Beyond that, whatever you earn is liable to be taxed as per your slab. So suppose suppose you are in 20% bracket and you had already earned 10,000 from some other bank FD, then on 6,000 you will also need to pay 1,200 rupees as your income tax as well. Now you see the proposition, Divya, you earned 6,000, you are very happy, but in reality out of 6,000, 5,000 has been eaten by the inflation and 1,200 you had paid as income tax. So did you get anything in reality, Divya? No. Rather, 200 rupees have gone out of your pocket. That is why in investment, we have to look at the real return. And what is the real return, Divya? Real return simply means notional return, that is 6,000, minus tax liability, sorry, minus inflation, that is 5,000, minus tax liability, that is 1,200. And in this scenario, Divya, you got nothing. You got nothing in reality. Of course, you earned 6,000 as interest income, but that interest income is sheer notional. There is no real income. And unless and until we have some real income on our investment, the basic purpose of savings and investment itself is defeated. Because unless and until we beat inflation, we pay tax, and after that, if something remains, that is your real income. So kindly mind it that we have to have some real in return on our investment. And if we don't have real income, then the purpose itself is defeated. So kindly analyze all your investments, and where you are not getting real return, just get out of those investment and invest your money in some other options. So the formula of real return is very simple. Real return equal to notional return minus tax liability. Real return equal to notional return minus inflation minus tax liability. Now, why we are satisfied with the notional return only? Why most of us don't think that, okay, Baba, whatever we are getting is okay? Why it is so? Because of some reason. And the reason is very simple and deep rooted. Because most of the middle class, salary class person don't want to take risk in their investments. It is a fact of our life. And but the most important fact of our investment is that in investment, most of the investment risk is there. Kindly mind it. You may not like to take risk, but in most of the investment, risk is there. So we have to first accept that yes, risk is there. In governmental scheme, risk is there. In governmental scheme, there is no risk, but in all other investment option, risk is there. So risk is there. We have accepted in what to do. The only thing we have to do is to manage and minimize our risk. That we can do very easily. We can manage our risk. We can minimize our risk by a very simple formula. That formula, kindly note it down if you wish to note down. The formula is very simple, two-word formula. Think, understand, and invest. Just writing this formula on paper will not serve any purpose, my dear participants. You have to practice this formula, Suresh Kumar sir, in our life. Because unless and until we practice this in our life, we wouldn't be efficiently managing our risk or minimizing our risk. So the formula is very simple. Think, understand, and invest. And what we have to think? We have to think two things about ourselves. First is my risk-taking capacity. Second is my time horizon of investment. My risk-taking capacity is different from others. Mind it. Every individual has got different risk appetite. Divya has got different one, Dinesh has got different one, Ramya has got different one, and Suresh Kumar sir has got different one. Everybody has got different risk appetite. And even our risk appetite keeps changing with the age. That is also a fact. So kindly analyze your risk-taking capacity and take only that extent of risk in your investments, not more than that, not less than that. So risk appetite is the most important thing while analyzing while taking investment decision. Second thing is time horizon of investment. And my dear friends, you must be aware that we will need money in our life, not in one go, but at different intervals for different milestones. And when we need money for different intervals, definitely we should have money at different intervals. And for that, we have to plan our investment in such a fashion through time horizon of investment that whenever I need money, I should have money. That's the purpose of time horizon of investment. And you just see to it that all we have is time horizon of investment. And for just to make it understand to all of you, I just give you one very simple exercise for next Sunday. Kindly sit with your family members, have a pen and pencil with you. In the first column on paper, just kindly note down the milestone in our life. And Suresh Kumar sir, we all have some common milestones in our life. Common milestone. What are these milestones are? First milestone is marriage. Marriage is the first milestone. Second milestone is birth of the children. Third milestone is admission of children in a good public school. Fourth milestone might be purchase of house for the family. Fifth milestone might be purchase of the vehicle for the family. Sixth milestone might be higher education of the children. Seventh milestone might be marriage of the children. And the last and important milestone is retirement corpus, retirement plan. Because in retirement, Suresh Kumar sir is well aware that once we retire, what we lack, what we don't have regular income after retirement. So how will we survive after retirement? We will survive in retirement, after retirement, only through the money which we have accumulated over a period of time for retirement life. That is why this is very important. So in the first column, put the all the milestone. In the second column, just put the period when it might happen: 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 years, whatever you think it is an estimate only. In the third column, against each milestone, kindly put the amount which you will need for each milestone. 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 50 lakh, 30 lakhs, 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore. So just give an estimate. Two things I wish to mention here of important attention here. Higher education of the children. We are all aware that a good MBA degree now costs around 20 lakhs rupees for 2-year MBA degree. Can you just imagine how it will cost after 25 years, my dear friends? Suresh Kumar sir, it will cost not less than 2 crore rupees. A degree which is costing 20 lakhs will cost not less than 2 crore after 25 years. So if even when you have 2 children, the higher education cost of your 2 children will be not less than 4 crore. Likewise, more important thing, retirement plan. What is retirement plan? It simply means that how much retirement corpus I should have. The formula is very simple. You should have minimum 20 times of your annual expenses. And what will be your annual expenses, Suresh Kumar sir? I just asked a person who is 30 today. Suppose he says that he can manage his monthly affairs, monthly expenses are around 30,000. After 30 years, when he becomes 60, what will be his monthly expenses? Can you just imagine, my dear friends? His monthly expenses, because of inflation, would be around 2 lakhs rupees per month, which he is managing with 30,000 today. So what should be retirement corpus? It should be minimum 20 times of your annual expenses. That is why 20 lakhs multiply by 25, it becomes 5 crore rupees. So my dear friends, you should have a retirement corpus of minimum 5 crore rupees for living life after retirement. So all these things, the chart which we have just made on paper, it is called financial planning. And every individual and for that matter family must have proper financial plan. Then one more thing I wish to mention here, rule of compounding. What is rule of compounding? It simply means that whatever I am earning on my investment, return, income, interest, whatever form it is, I make a promise with myself that I will never spend that interest, income or return on my consumption or on my utilities or on my family obligations. What I will do then, I will simply keep investing that return, income or interest along with original invest all together and always. If we practice this for a longer period of around 50 to 20 years, my dear friend, my dear participant, you might be happily surprised. You might be happily surprised that your return or income portion has become greater than your original investment. But that will happen not today, not in 1 year, not in 2 years, not in 5 years. It will happen down the line after 15, 20, 25 years. That's the magic of rule of compounding. Kindly follow rule of compounding in your investment philosophy. That is the base for your prosperity. Now, next phase, we can discuss where we can invest. So far, what we have discussed, importance of savings, conversion of savings into investment, then risk management, then financial plan, then rule of compounding. But now what we are discussing, we are going to discuss is where to invest. What are the options available for middle class, salary class person? What are the general options? The first option available to middle class, salary class person is investment in government savings schemes. Government of India has got lot of savings scheme for middle class, salary class person where we can invest. The first and foremost scheme is Public Provident Fund, PPF account. Very good scheme of the Government of India, where government is presently giving 7.10% interest. Interest is compoundable on yearly basis. The scheme is for 15 years. Minimum you can deposit is 500 rupees. Maximum you can deposit is 1.50 lakhs. Very good scheme of the Government of India. And I personally feel that all earners, those who are earning, even students can note down, when they start earning, kindly start a PPF account, Public Provident Fund account with any bank or any post office as early as you can. Because it is initially for 15 years, but you can extend it for a period block of 5 years every time. So PPF is a good scheme for middle class, salary class person. Then RBI, Reserve Bank of India, also keep issuing bonds and debentures to the public. We can subscribe to those and bonds and debentures. Then public sector undertaking also giving us bonds and debenture raising loan from the public. We can subscribe those bonds also. Then lastly, government treasury bills are also there where we can invest. So all these are under the umbrella of governmental savings scheme. What is the beauty of these schemes, my dear friends? It has got no risk at all. No risk at all. Whatever government is saying, whatever government has promised, government will give us, because it is a sovereign guarantee. When our money matures, when a scheme matures, we will get money when it is due, when it is mature. So there is no risk. And I personally feel, my dear Suresh Kumar sir, that a normal middle class, salary class person should invest around 15 to 20% of their investment into governmental schemes. Then beyond that, now the questions come, what are the other options? Then property is the option where we can invest. You know about the property, risk is there. In all other investment options after governmental scheme, risk is there, kindly minded. So we have to see that risk is there. In property, risk is there. And in property, you are all aware that huge investment is required. You can't purchase a property in 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs. You will have to invest more than 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 70 lakhs, or more, even more. So you can invest in property as per your wish. I am not prescribing anything. Then third option is gold, where we can invest. And in gold, you are all aware that we Indians, particularly our female members of our family, have fascination about gold. And gold has centuries together been a safety valve for middle class, salary class person. Kindly minded. Gold has been a safety valve for the middle class, salary class person. And my dear friends, you might be aware that at the time of marriage of our daughters, we do give some gold jewelry to them, to daughter. Why? There is a deep-rooted thinking in it. What we think, that in case of any financial problem of the daughter's family in future, at least the family can mortgage or sell the gold and come out of that problem. That is why gold has altogether been used and treated as a safety wall for a middle class, salary class person. But earlier we used to purchase gold only through physical form, jewelry, or in biscuits. But now, my dear friends, digital purchase of gold is also available, kindly minded. We can purchase and acquire gold in digital form, in the sense that we will not be required to have physical gold. We will simply be issued a certificate that I own this much of gold, that's all. And nowadays, a very good Government of India scheme is on, kindly minded. That scheme is called Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme. Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme. Very good scheme of the Government of India. My dear friends, kindly note it down. Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme is the Government of India scheme. It is not a private scheme. And government has promised 2.5% guaranteed return on your investment in gold. Then actual appreciation in the prices of gold. Scheme is for 7 years, but since it will be listed on stock exchanges, you can sell the gold even before 7 years. So it is a very good scheme. And now mutual fund gold schemes are also available. So if you wish, kindly acquire gold in digital form rather than in physical form. And I personally feel, Divya, that a normal middle class, salary class person investor should have at least 5% of their investment into gold. Now, last option available is for share market, that is security market. What is security market, Divya? When I feel that when I start talking about security market, one or few participants in the write in the chat box, oh sir, this is sheer speculation. We don't know how market works. Market goes down, market goes up. I had invested some money and I had lost that money because I didn't know about the market. That is why most of the people still feel that market is, security market is sheer speculation. But my dear friends, it is not. Security market is a knowledge-based market. Kindly minded. Security market is purely knowledge-based market. And those who don't have knowledge, my dear Madam Selvam, my request is very simple to them. Never enter into the market directly if you don't have knowledge of the market. That is because that is more riskier way of putting your investments. Because if you don't know anything about the market and still you are investing, it is not a wise decision on your part. So if you don't have knowledge of the market, just avoid investing into security market. But those who have knowledge, those who have time patience, those who have patience, they should invest in the security market. Why? Because Mr. Selvam, security market has given best return as compared to other investment products. Kindly minded. security market has given 15% average return, my dear friend. 15% average return, Vijay Grewal sir, which no other investment product has given. Governmental scheme has given around 7% to 8.50%. Real estate has given 8% to 9%. Gold has given 6.5% to 7.5%. But real estate, but the security market has given 15% average return during last 35 years, which is the highest one. But again, I am not saying anybody to invest in the market. If you don't have knowledge, better to avoid it. If you don't have knowledge, at least investing directly into the market is a riskier proposition when you don't have knowledge of the market. But there are three segments in the market. One is the primary market. You are all MBA students. You must have got some chapters on security market, and you must be aware what primary market is. In primary market, there is a direct link between the corporate and the investor. Corporate issue its shares or debentures to the public, and public accepted. Dilraj Reja sir, when public accepted, public becomes shareholder or the bondholder of the corporate. In that scenario, public become owner of the corporate. So there is a mechanism through which we can purchase share when company offers it. I don't have time to give details of this, but next time, whenever your principal sir would like, we will have a detailed session on security market, wherein I will cover all the technical aspects of security market. Now, second segment of the security market, Dinesh, is secondary market. First is primary market. Second is secondary market. What is secondary market, Dinesh? We can purchase or sell shares of any listed corporate through market. Just like you purchase a TV, a fridge, a car, or some other items, you can also purchase shares of the corporates, those who are listed through market. And market here means stock exchanges, and we have two major stock exchanges, that is called National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange. Both are there. So we can purchase shares of any corporate if you wish. The third option, my dear Dinesh, is we can invest in security market through mutual fund. Mr. Dinesh, Rajan, have you heard about the mutual fund? Just raise your hand. Have you heard about mutual fund? Just raise your hand, my dear. Have you heard about mutual fund? Yeah. Have you heard about mutual fund, my dear? No. There may be some wise problem. Mutual fund, everybody wants to know. Yusuf Sardar sir and Grewal sir. Now everybody wants to know about mutual fund. Everybody wants to know. Whether they are investing or not is a different proposition. But everybody wants to know about the mutual fund. Sound is not clear. Mr. Sabjar.
Sir, sound is clear, sir.
I don't know why some people
sir, it is from their side, sir. Due to some technical issue, sir, your voice is clear, sir. Please continue, sir.
Okay. Then mutual fund is nothing, my dear friend. It is just an indirect way of investing into the security market, where we are giving our savings to the experts. Sardar sir, if we are directly into the investing into security market, that is a different proposition. But if we are indirectly investing through security market, that is through mutual fund. And why we invest in through mutual fund? Sir, reason is very simple. Because mutual funds are managed by experts. They are experts of the market. They are experts of the corporate. economy, sectors. They know everything about the market. They have better knowledge than us. So it is most likely that their decision of investment will be much more beneficial and better than us. Because we are laymen, we don't have knowledge of the market. That is why we are simply giving our money to them to invest into the security market and kindly mind it and earn maximum return for us. So Grewal sir, it is not a social service. It is a sheer proposition where I am giving my money to the fund manager of mutual fund for investing into the market or beyond for the sheer purpose of generating return for me. It is the crux of the mutual fund. In mutual fund, and there are two types of mutual fund. One is direct plan and another one is regular plan. In direct plan, we simply go online on the website of the mutual fund, select the scheme and give the information they require, attach our bank details, bank account with them, fill the amount and click it and we are invested. So in direct plan, we can invest online, kindly mind it. And direct plan, since there is no third person between you and the AMC, so we can have better results, better return, higher return. So kindly mind it, in direct plan, return will always be higher. Then other plan is regular plan. What is regular plan? In regular plan, we simply take the help of the mutual fund distributor or agent, whatever you call it. They will come to you, they will bring the form, they will help you out in filling the form, they will check, they will take documents from you, they will take check from you, and they will deposit your documents with check to the mutual fund company, and your investment will be made operational. And definitely for making investment operational, they are entitled to get some commission or fees. And that commission or fees will go out of your return or out of your investment, kindly mind it. So in regular plan, mind it, in regular plan, the return will always be lesser as compared to direct plan. So my request to young participants, kindly try to go through direct plan only, because that will be more beneficial, and there might be difference of lakhs of rupees over a period of time, maybe 15-20 years. Now next question, next point is how we can invest in mutual fund. The best way of investment in mutual fund, my dear friend, is through SIP, systematic investment plan. And this is a wonder for middle class, salary class person. It is a magic yardstick, my dear friends. Because through SIP, that is called systematic investment plan, we can start investing a very small amount regularly. Maybe monthly, maybe fortnightly, maybe weekly, maybe half year. But even a very small amount. And even students, those who are students here, I will urge all of you kindly to start an SIP of 500 rupees, which is the minimum amount of SIP, in a very good equity fund or some index fund to have a flare of the mutual fund. Then, because down the line, out of your pocket money, 500 rupees anybody can spare out of their pocket money. So start investing in mutual fund of as minimum at 500 rupees in some good equity fund or in some good equity fund or some index fund. Then once you start SIP and continue it for years together, you can see the magic, my dear. You can see the magic in the sense that after 15-20 years, a small regular saving becomes a huge amount. becomes a huge amount. And Sardar sir, Yusuf Sardar sir, I just give you one example. Gravel sir, you also listen to it. Example is very simple. One equity fund was started by a mutual fund company in 2003. Kindly mind the dates. One equity fund was started by a mutual fund in 2003. And a person like Mr. Safdar started an SIP of 10,000 rupees every month. And from 2003 till today, he is investing 10,000 every month. Every month he is investing. Can you just imagine, my dear Safdar sir, what is the valuation today? Can you just imagine what is the valuation today of that 10,000 per month SIP? Safdar sir, can you imagine? It is more than 9.50 crore. 10,000 per month SIP has become more than 9 crore rupees, sir. From 2003 to today. That's the beauty and magic of SIP. So kindly think of starting SIP, but before that, I will urge all of you, don't be in hurry. At least read about the mutual fund, their schemes, their different schemes, their propositions, how SIP works, how SIP is started. Everything is available on the website of SEBI, on the website of AMFI. So kindly read as much as you can. Because now lot of stuff is available on the Google, on the websites. You have just to click. Everything is available. So kindly read as much as you can. And once you feel yourself acquainted, once you feel okay with the details, then select the scheme. And a selection of a scheme is the most important thing, kindly minded. Please select the scheme very, very carefully, because there are schemes in the mutual fund where low risks are there. There are schemes in the mutual fund where moderate risk is there. There are schemes in the mutual fund where high risk is there. There are schemes in the mutual fund which will give you return in 1 month. There are schemes in the mutual fund which will give you return in 6 months or 1 year. And there are schemes in the mutual fund which will give you return for after 5 years or so. So selection of a scheme according to a risk appetite and time horizon is important, is very important, because a lot of schemes are available. Only important thing is the selection of right scheme. And that can be done. It is not a rocket science. Kindly read the fact sheet of each scheme, FACT fact sheet. In fact, fact sheet is a Bible of the mutual fund scheme. Every information about the mutual fund scheme is given in that. What is the risk? What is the time horizon? What has been the experience of the fund manager? What has been the performance of the mutual fund scheme if it is an old one? So all these things are available on the fact sheet. Kindly read. Minimum 10 times facts, but only then you invest. Mutual fund is of two types. One is equity, other is debt. Equity is suitable for the persons who are young, who have long time horizon of investment, and who can take risk. So kindly mind it. Equity schemes are broadly suitable for the young people like you. Those who are students today, when they start working tomorrow, kindly start as much as SIP as you can at the beginning of your career itself, because that will make a huge difference over a period of time. After 15-20 years, you might have crores of rupees. You might, that's why I'm telling you, you might have. So SIP is equity funds are suitable for the persons who are young, but there is a greater risk, kindly minded. Those who can take some risk should invest in equity fund, but those who are not not in a position to take much risk, like people of older age, like people above 50 or 55, then the other option available for them is debt fund, DEBT, debt fund. In debt fund, your money will be given as a loan to the corporates, where in the equity funds, your money will be invested into the equity shares of the corporate. And mind it, prices of the equity shares of the corporate will always go up and down. That is why greater risk. So you should not invest into the equity fund when you have a shorter horizon of 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years. Minimum you should have a horizon of 5 years. If you don't have, if you have a lesser horizon than 5 years, then better proposition is to invest in debt funds only. So debt fund and equity fund both are different. Both has got different risk appetite. There are a lot of categories under equity fund and debt fund. I don't have time to, you kindly read the information available on the MC website and SEBI website about the categories. Then last two things I wish to request, my dear friends. There is a meanness in our country that it is a serious disease which has affected millions of people. And what is that disease, my dear sir? That disease is called Ponzi scheme, chit fund committees. These are bogus schemes being floated by scamsters. They will promise you higher return. They will promise you doubling your money in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. But my dear Mr. Srinivasan sir, they will simply vanish with your money. Sardar sir, kindly mind it. They will simply vanish your money. So kindly never invest your hard-earned money into Ponzi scheme, chit fund or committee. And if you don't have any idea, simply put your money into the bank or post office. And I will request the principal, honorable principal and dean of the management that kindly start a campaign through your students in your area to educate as much people as you can that they should not invest their hard-earned money into Ponzi scheme, chit fund or committee. And Mr. Sardar sir, who normally invest in such schemes? Not you. You are educated person. But normally who invests? Driver, peon, your clerk, milk vendor, taxi driver, electrician, plumber, small vendor. They generally invest in such scheme because they don't know about anything about it. They simply have temptation of getting a higher return which they will never get, and they simply lose their money. So kindly try to make it a point that we should reach as much people we can. So to educate them, to make them aware that the shortcut is not going to be beneficial for them. And never invest in Ponzi scheme and committee scheme. Last thing I wish to request Dinesh, Mr. Dinesh and Ramaiah, kindly keep your video on now. Last thing I wish to request all of you, all participants, young students. Mr. Sardar sir, Yusuf Sardar sir, prosperity is my right. Prosperity, Mr. Dinesh, is my right. I might have born into a poor family, but I should not remain poor. I will not die as a poor. Why? I will work hard for my savings, for my investment, getting good return, and will prosper. So kindly mind it, every person can be prosper, provided he start working on the prosperity and wealth creation right from the day he start working. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity. Now I will try to take question answer session. Anybody has question, just raise their hand. We will make him or her unmute. Any question from any participant? Just raise their hand.
Dear participants, if any question, please raise your hand, please. Sir, one question is how to choose a right company to invest?
My dear, there is no single parameter when I can say this is the only parameter. There are a lot of parameters. What has been the performance of the company? What has been the performance of the management of the company? What is the product of the company? Whether it has got market or not? What is the profitability of the company during last 3-4 years? What is the potentiality of the future of company products? All these things will have to be looked into. Not a single factor, but there are a lot.
Good afternoon, sir. How should we apply for SIP, sir?
Either you can apply SIP online and offline both. If you want to apply online, you simply visit the website of any asset management company. There are 45 asset management company. Before starting SIP, kindly read about the mutual fund and SIP. Take some time. Then once you understand what SIP is, then visit the website of the company. And I think you are very young, so you should select one good equity scheme. Give your information online. And if you are a first time investor, then eKYC is also mandatory, just like bank account. Or that KYC can also now be done online. So kindly first complete KYC, then select the scheme, and then start SIP.
Sir, one more question is how
Sir,
can
can
we
I-
analyze? Oh,
Yeah.
Can I ask
how-
a question?
Sir, one more question is how can we analyze inflation rate during our return because it is uncertain?
No, inflation rate is not uncertain, my dear. Everybody knows inflation is there. Government issues data about the inflation every year. Of course, inflation is a part of our life. So we have to analyze inflation in the sense that suppose you earn 1 lakh rupees as interest income, suppose, and inflation has been 5%. So 1 lakh rupees doesn't mean that you got 1 lakh rupees. Kindly factor in inflation before arriving at the real return. Plus tax liability is also there. So inflation is a part of our life, and inflation data are being announced by the government rather on monthly basis by the RBI and government.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Khatib Fazur Rahman, please unmute your audio option, please, sir. Khatib Fazur Rahman, please unmute your audio option and ask questions, please. Mr. Dinesh Bharti, please unmute your audio option and video, please.
Any question, my dear?
Sir, for the initial investor, it is better to invest in lump sum or SIP, sir.
SIP, my dear.
Okay,
You
sir.
start SIP, because lump sum again has got some risk. So if you want to have some lump sum money, then you should start STP, systematic transfer plan. In the sense that first you deposit your lump sum amount of 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, whatever you have in one scheme, then keep transferring that amount from that scheme to the scheme where you want to invest. This is called STP, systematic transfer plan.
Yes,
But
sir.
better, you should start SIP.
Okay, sir. Then by choosing mutual fund companies, some companies do more investments in foreign equities, sir. Some do more in Indian equities. Which is better to choose, sir?
Both have different dimensions, my dear. There are schemes in the mutual fund, you must be aware, where your money will be invested into the international company, foreign companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook. There are big names. So if you want to invest some money in that, it is your choice. Because selection of scheme is your choice, my dear. That I leave it to you. So you have to take a call where you want to invest and for how many you want to invest.
Okay, sir.
And I request to Dr. Suresh Kumar, sir. Sir, please unmute your. Okay, sir. Sir, your phone is switched off, sir.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
having some network issues.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Dr. Suresh Kumar, I will like you to just give your observation first about the session.
Yeah, fine, sir. So thank you very much for giving your kind consent and addressing our students today. I think today you had just to remark on when we have plenty of money, we think of luxury, and you also talked on financial security, mental security in life, and any individual is earning must have a life insurance cover. So need of life insurance cover you have stated, and which gives assurance to the family. And also you just talked on early we take lesser the premium for life insurance. So it was nice, sir. And we also talked about on term insurance. And you also covered on health insurance cover, like umbrella policy or quota policy. And every family should have health insurance cover, an emergency fund. Also, you just touched on one. Yeah. And 1 minute. Excuse me. There is-
Okay, sir. Continue, sir. Continue, sir. Please.
Yeah. And about the savings, so how one has to do savings and one has to invest wisely. And our talked about on money escalators, like wealth creators, and also on FD. And also just you had given remarks on inflation and about you talked about on primary market, secondary market, the mutual funds, which is like of direct plan and regular plan, and where you have just stated that direct plan returns will be higher, and in a regular plan returns will be less than the direct plan. So, and also you just remark on how to invest in mutual funds, especially SIP, the systematic investment plan, and one can invest small amount regularly in equity or index fund. And by your example, like when you have stated that in 2003, one person has just invested 10,000 rupees in SIP regularly, and now it's worth of rupees 9.5 crore. It's really amazing, sir. So, and also you talked about on equity fund and debt fund. Equity fund where you have greater risk, and debt fund you have minimum risk. So fantastic, sir. It was so nice. It was an very very nice information you had given to our students. I hope that everyone has just got the inputs from your end on financial planning. Though it's a very wide, but I think little inputs we have got definitely. And once again, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts of wisdom and expertise, sir.
Thank you very much, my dear friends. On my behalf and on behalf of AMFI, I am equally thankful to all of you for giving me opportunity. And I will be very happy to be with you physically as well when this pandemic goes. With this
Please,
pandemic, I will be more than happy to be with you. Then we have more interaction and a lengthy interaction on different aspects of the security market.
It's our pride and pleasure to have you, sir, to have your campus at Welltech High Tech Engineering College, Chennai.
Definitely, sir. I will be more than happy. I will. And a special thanks to Mr. Sabjar Ahmed, of course, without whom it would not have been
instrumental.
possible.
Yes.
Yeah,
I also extend my profound
yeah.
thanks to Mr. Ahmed, and I extend my profound thanks to you, sir.
Thank
you. So now I think some things are there to go on. Yeah, please.
Yes,
Over to Ramya, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable and for your vivid explanation. It was interesting and informative, sir. Gratitude is the sweetest thing in seeker's life. To give a perfect end to this event, I now request Mr. Kulekan of 2nd MBA to deliver the words of gratitude.
To mute off. I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Suryakant Sharma, sir, who honored his function with his inspiring thoughts and ideas. Thank you so much, sir, that you spent with today. It was really a wonderful session, sir. Also, I would like to thank our respected principal, Dr. E. Kamalavan, sir, and all his support and encouragement, our head of the department, Dr. A. Suresh Kumar, sir, for all motivation and organizing such valuable program. And our beloved faculty members for their kind support and guidance. At last, I thank my dear friends for talking. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Kulekan, for your patience. Everyone to rise up for the national anthem.
तब शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तब जय गाथा। जय गण मंगल नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Thank you very much to all of you. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Subjarji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dear all participants, to fill the feedback form correctly and within 2 to 3 days or within a week, e-certificate issued to all the participants, and within 2 to 5 minutes we also share these links also. Please fill feedback form correctly.